My name is Nathan. I'm 28 now, and for most of my life, I felt like the invisible thread in the family fabric, not the black sheep. Because even black sheep get noticed, I was just the one everyone forgot existed like background furniture. Growing up, I learned fast that love in our house had a price tag. Praise came only when it served someone else. My mom remembered every single flaw I had, and somehow developed amnesia for every kind or generous thing I did. Any time I got an award, it was brushed off. Every night, I stayed up to talk her through her breakdowns. It vanished from her memory. Any small gift or card I brought her with my part-time money landed in the trash like it was nothing. I had a sister named Sarah, 2 years younger, a natural at getting what she wanted. She knew how to smile and lie, just enough to make people adore her. She played the family game. Well, I didn't pretend to love things. I didn't wear masks, I said. Things how they were, and in a house full of masks, I might as well have been shouting in a foreign language. Still, I tried. I kept coming to events where no one invited me. I brought thoughtful presents and remembered everyone's birthdays. I smiled when they joked about me and acted like I didn't notice they left me out of every group photo. I kept telling myself that one day they'd see me, really see me, that they'd finally think of me as part of the family. But that day never came. When I turned 25, it hit me full force. I wasn't family, I was a convenience. They reached out when they needed something, a favor, a ride, a backup, never when it truly mattered. Last Thanksgiving, I nearly didn't go. I told myself I wouldn't, but the only reason I did was my cousin Lena. She's 2 years younger than me, but miles ahead in terms of soul and kindness. She remembered things like how I like my coffee. She texted me just to check, and she told me the day before Thanksgiving, you better come. I saved you a seat, and damn if that didn't hit hard. I didn't want to go, but for her, I said one last time. I drove 45 minutes to my uncle's place, same as every year, giant inflatable turkey in the yard, warm smells covering cold attitudes. I parked far because the driveway was full as always. Even if I arrived on time, I walked up with a bottle of wine no one would touch and peeked through the glass door. They looked happy, laughing, full plates, full hearts, but mine wasn't. I reached for the door handle, and before I could knock it open just a little, my uncle stood there blocking the entrance. You're not part of this anymore, Nathan, he said, cold as stone. I thought it was a joke, but when I looked past him, I saw my mother sipping wine, my sister, Sarah, clinking glasses with her fiancé, who was sitting in my old chair, the one I always used, the one Lena saved for me. Every year, my mom just raised her glass with a grin. You showing up causes problems, my uncle said. I blinked. I hadn't even stepped inside. He shrugged. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Just go. I stared at my mom, waiting for her to say anything. She didn't. She just watched like it was a TV show, and I did what I had done 1,000 times before. I walked away. I sat in my car gripping that wine bottle, and I didn't cry, I didn't rage. I just felt something break, something final, but they didn't know what I had planned. For weeks, I've been talking with Lena about the way things really were in our family, about the two-faced smiles and the lies, and the way I was always the disposable one. She told me once all it takes is one match to light a fire. So I lit mine. I pulled up a message I had saved for weeks, a 5-minute voice memo, a folder of screenshots, audio clips, text logs, proof of the way they spoke about me when I wasn't around, how they used my work and gave credit to Sarah, how they mocked me during my own birthday and pretended I wasn't even there. My mom saying I'd always be a failure. My uncle saying I was just a burden. I hit send. 7 people got it. Lena, my cousin Jordan, Aunt Claire, my mom's older sister, 2 family friends, and Sarah's ex, who always suspected something was off. I sat in my car and waited. Then the front door opened. Lena came out first, red in the face, furious. Then Jordan, then Claire's best friend, the one who always brought pie and hugged me tighter than my mom ever did. They walked out one by one. I couldn't hear what was going on inside, but I didn't need to. A few minutes later, Lena called me. Nathan, what the hell was that? She said, you read it. Of course I did. Everyone did. My mom went pale. Ron turned into a statue. Sarah tried to play it cool. She paused. Why didn't you tell me? You were keeping receipts. I didn't want to put you in the middle. I told her. But the truth is I've been gaslit so long. I needed something tangible. She said quietly, I'm glad you did it. Then Aunt Claire called. Nathan, I need to see you. Where are you? I told her. She showed up 10 minutes later. She got in the car, looked at me, and said softly, I didn't know. I didn't answer her face. Said everything I knew. They were mean sometimes, but I didn't know it was like this. You didn't know because you believed her. I said. She shook her head. Your mom said you were emotional, that you exaggerated. She didn't lie. I said. She edited that night. I got dozens of messages, some angry, some shocked, some supportive, but from my mom, Sarah, and my uncle, nothing. Not until the next morning when the Facebook post began. My mom, the queen of image, crafted a long post about betrayal and how families go through things and people twist pain into drama. She didn't name me, but everyone knew. Some people took her side. Immediately others started questioning Then Lena posted a comment, not vague, direct. She told her story. Jordan added his Aunt Claire posted a photo of a letter my mom sent her years ago trashing me right after I'd sent money to help pay her bills. The comment section blew up, and I wasn't alone anymore. Over the next days, I received messages from people I hadn't heard from in years, distant cousins, old classmates, even one of Sarah's college friends who wrote, "I always wondered how you put up with them. Your story made so much sense now." People were paying attention, now not just hearing me, but believing me, and that changed everything. But the real shift came on New Year's Eve when I got a letter, not an email, not a DM, but an actual letter from my mom. It wasn't an apology, it was a threat. She wrote that I had destroyed the family's image, that I had made enemies I couldn't afford, and that there would be consequences for my actions. I folded the letter and threw it away, not out of anger, out of peace. I wasn't playing this game anymore. I had nothing left to prove. My cousin Lena and I spent New Year's with friends, no drama. Just food, music, laughter. I brought a tray of cookies. She brought a bottle of wine, and we toasted to new beginnings. The family chat remained silent, not even a forwarded meme or passive-aggressive reminder to bring a casserole to silence. Said everything. They weren't ignoring me, they were retreating, regrouping. My mother tried one more time with another public post filled with vague language about forgiveness and healing and how some wounds take time. But no one bought it this time. I didn't reply. I didn't need it. The truth had its own legs. Aunt Claire posted a short message. Sometimes it takes breaking apart to rebuild better. I'm proud of you, Nathan. A week later, I heard from my father, who had been silent for most of my adult life. He showed up at my apartment unexpectedly, wearing the same jacket he always wore. He looked older, tired. He sat down, looked around, and said, "I saw the video. Your aunt sent it to me." I nodded quietly. He admitted he knew things were bad, but not how bad. I asked him where he was all those years when I needed someone. He said he didn't have a good answer, just regrets. We didn't cry, we didn't hug. He stood up, said, "I hope someday we can talk again," and left. And honestly, that was enough closure for me. I spent the next weeks cleaning house. I cut off the financial support I'd been giving them. Ava's so-called emergency loan. I had a lawyer send a letter requesting repayment. The car my mom drove, I stopped paying for. It was in my name anyway. My uncle's bills stopped being mysteriously covered. No fights, no drama, just firm boundaries. And they hated that. They lashed out, called me selfish, dramatic, ungrateful. But I didn't care. For the first time, I wasn't reacting, I was choosing. Then something beautiful happened. Lena hosted a dinner in February 25th. People showed up, cousins, aunts, friends. Even a neighbor who said I was always too quiet, but kind of people who mattered showed up. The others faded away quietly into their corners where their lies no longer held weight. I didn't just lose a toxic family. I found my voice. I started writing again, started sharing my story more, not to hurt, but to heal. I wasn't angry anymore. I was whole. If you're someone who feels invisible in your family, who keeps giving and never receives, let this be a sign. You don't owe anyone your silence. You don't have to sit quietly and take the scraps they might call a betrayal. But the truth is, it's survival. You can walk away, you can heal, and someday you'll look back like I do now and realize that wasn't your family breaking, that was your freedom beginning.